Hello, welcome aboard. Nigel with you, Nigel's Model Dimension. Here we are now with part 65, is it? Of the Mustang build, of the 1.6 DeAgostini Mustang build, and what a beauty it's turning out to be. If you remember, in the last part we did packs 104 and 105 where we actually built up the hood. We added the latch to the frame and then we added the frame to the hood. So the hood's gone away for safekeeping so it doesn't get scratched. So looking in the magazine here, we've got all the information here from DeAgostini about their customer services and everything. If you want to get yourself one of these, there's a link in the description down below this video. Go take a look and perhaps get yourself one ordered and build it along. It really is a beautiful model. So, the cars of Grease. The movie Grease, which came out in 1978 with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John in the lead roles, has gone down in the history of the cinema as a true classic. I remember when that film came out in America, I was visiting my father and I went to see it, and when I came back to England, back to school, I'd seen it before it was even released over here. It was like, yay, I was famous. And I really remember that scene there with that car. Yes, beautiful. There's John Travolta there doing his thing. So, the Ford Deluxe was produced in several different versions, including sedans, coupes and convertibles. It was one of the most popular cars in the United States in the 40s, and a 1948 convertible features prominently in Grease. The customised red Ford Deluxe convertible featured in Grease was exhibited at Chelsea Piers, New York, as part of Ford's centenary celebrations in 2003. There we go. Beautiful. And there's another, there's a Mercury Custom from Grease, beautifully restored and complete with razor hubcaps outside the Flamingo Hotel in Vegas in 2014 at an event honouring Olivia Newton-John. Do you know what? When I was a little kid, when I was a youngster, I had a crush on Olivia Newton-John like you would not believe. Right, the Ford Mustang Mark 1. I think they mean Mach 1. There was never like a Mark 1 Mustang. So, I don't know why that... I think they mean Mach 1. So, yeah, Ford and Shelby, the agreement came to an end and Ford had to develop its own muscle cars. The results were the Mustang Boss and Mach 1. That's what I think they mean Mach 1 there. And there's a beauty. 1969, that's my favourite year of Mustang. Was Ford's first model to be designed as a muscle car from the start. It was launched to compete with the Chevrolet, Plymouth, Dodge and Pontiac models. And that'll be a Boss 302 in grubber orange. Just the ultimate car. And then here's the bread van. The 1971 Mustang Boss 351 was exclusive. It was possibly the most balanced Mustang series out of those launched that could proudly be declared a muscle car. It was a bit big though, wasn't it? It was a bit of a beast. But the original Gone in 60 Seconds film, if you haven't seen it, go and watch it. 60-odd minute car chase featuring one of those in yellow. Absolutely amazing. And there's the first pony car, the notchback Mustang. And then here we've got the Mustang Mach 1. Fastback was the largest model in the series and the last to use the 7-litre Cobra Jet engine. And there we go. If that's not set up for a camera shoot, I don't know what it is. You've got three guys there in white shirts putting an engine in a car. Yeah, right. There we go. Right, so let's have a look at what we've got to do in this one. So we have the left front fender. Let's get the light on and we'll grab our box 106. So this one again is taped. Wonderful DeAgostini packaging as usual. Very, very thoughtfully done. I am really impressed with DeAgostini and everything about them. I am really, and I mean that sincerely. I'm not just saying that because they sponsor these builds. I'm saying it because I mean it. Their packaging, the finish of their parts, the quality, the interest in the magazines, everything is just unbelievable. It's really, really good. And yeah, really, really lovely. Look at that. Beautiful. Really, really nice. We've got some parts in there, some bags. Piece of tissue paper there. So there's our front fender. So we are really starting to get the see the light at the end of the tunnel on this one now. So yeah, we can see we've got the beautiful badge on there. Hopefully the decals line up on the door. But, yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, so what are we going to do in here? So we've got our screws and our bits and pieces there. So we'll get those open. So looks like we've got a badge and a sticker. And then we've got some screws, or a screw, because we're going to have a spare. So there we go, we'll get those two out of there. Oh, come on, H. Call yourself a modeler, Nige, you can't even open a bloody bag. Right, so we've got the screws there. Okay. Right, so what are we going to do? Attach the emblem base 106B to the rear side of the front fender, as shown in the picture. Push the pin in the top. Right, okay, so we've got a large pin and a small pin, so that's going to go in there like that, quite obviously. And then we're going to turn it over and attach the screw. We're going to put a screw in, hold it in from behind, and then we're going to fit the sticker. Now, what I'm tempted to do here is, it might be better to put this in first. Yeah, I was going to put the sticker on, but it might be easier to hold this, to hold the whole fender. Okay, so we're going to put this screw in here. Oh dear, dear, dear. I keep forgetting to preload the screwdriver, so that's going to go in there. And that is going to come down into there and pull that little badge into place. You don't need to launch it up, it's only a badge. And then we're going to take this sticker. What I'm going to do is fold it so that the corner pops up. And then what I'm going to do is stick it to my knife, he says. And what we can do is position it on here. Get it nice and neatly in position. Just like that. And when we're nice and happy that it's square, we'll get a cotton bud, roll it over, and push it in. Get it nice in there. There we go. So that's that. That is pack 106. Let's have a look at 107. Okay, pack 107. So, Mustang model cars, here we go. Millions of automobile enthusiasts across the world share a passion for collecting miniature cars. But of all the vehicles ever manufactured, the Mustang and its Shelby versions are the models most commonly produced. So why have they got pictures of GT40s there? There we go, there's a special Mustang 1 concept. And then we've really got another Shelby here. So they've talked about the Mustang being the most popular, and then we've got GT40, 1 concept Mustang and a Shelby. So we've got the chassis front panel. This is basically the front firewall. Ford Raptor, the off-road beast. Oh dear. Oh dear. The American Raptor, yes, what a beauty. Absolutely amazing. But the Raptor that we got over here, oh dear, dear, dear. There's the beautiful Raptor. Here we are. This is the that's the American Raptor. That's the European Raptor. I believe it was designed in Australia. I actually had one of these identical to that in the same colour. Probably the worst car I've ever owned. 5 recalls in 8 months. In the end, right-hand indicator stopped working. It cost Ford over £1,000 and took them 6 weeks to fix it. That thing is just ridiculous. It's got a 2-litre bi-turbo engine in it. It's severely underpowered. They've now done a new one with a V6 in it, which is much better, but oh dear, dear. Having said that, I got it for a great price because nobody wanted to buy them because the engine was so small, and because they were no good for businesses because of the I don't know, they couldn't carry the weight or something, so they couldn't claim it as a business vehicle and get the VAT back or something. But basically, yeah, I bought one, and after a year I sold it, and I only lost a few £100, so that was really lucky. But yeah, never again. I'm actually done with Ford now. Predecessor design 100% for asphalt. That beautiful that thing was. The F-150 Lightning. I remember Jeremy Clarkson did a test in one of those. What a machine that thing is. But these American Raptors, I love them. Absolutely love them. Right, so what have we got in here then in this pack? We've got this chassis front panel or radiator firewall or whatever you want to call it. So here's pack 107. Again, it's quite weighty, so we've got lots of metal parts again. So it's a real special delivery this month because it's all boxed and well packaged and lovely. So we have some little plastic pieces. We have the actual bulkhead itself. This model is going to weigh an absolute ton by the time it's finished. It's already really heavy, and we're just adding more and more weight to it. So it's going to be a very, very solid piece of work. Okay, so we have three PSO8 screws, which means we're going to be using 2 of them. So we're going to place the right hood support 107C. So they've probably got an R and an L on them. Yeah, that one's got the R on it. You can see the R there. I'm going to put the light on because we finished with the magazine. You can see there's an R there. Catch it in the light. So that one is going to go, which way round is this? It's that way round. So that is going to go into there like that. And then we're going to turn it over. We're going to preload the screwdriver. Yes, I remembered this time. I'm going to preload the screwdriver, and then we're going to put a screw in there. Remember, it's going into plastic, so don't go launching it up. There we go, that's that one. And then we're going to do the left hand side, which is going into there. So yeah, you can tell with this month's packs, we've got some lovely big parts, but not a lot of work to do. So that's why we're whipping through these videos. So there we go, that's that. So this is what the chassis front panel looks like with the 2 hood supports installed once this assembly stage is complete. So there we go, that's that. Let's have a look at 108. Okay, so here we go, pack 108. So, Route 63 across the 163 across the Navajo Nation. Navajo, I think that is, not Navajo. While Route 66 is probably the most famous road in the United States, many others also deserve recognition. One of these is Route 163, which crosses the Navajo Nation in Arizona and Utah and passes through one of the wildest and most beautiful places in the country. I may well have done that road. I know I've seen this scenery here, so I may well have driven down there. I'll have to check back on my map. I've got it written out everywhere I went. Thelma and Louise, brilliant. There's the T-Bird there. There we go. And there's a policeman there on the side of his car. Coming over the page here, we've got the in view of the sensitivity of American society about the treatment of ethnic minorities, US car manufacturers have become more careful about giving their cars the names of Native American peoples, in spite of their attractive connotations, which are supposed to convey ideas of freedom and adventure. So in 1990, Ford abandoned the idea of calling its new 4x4 the Navajo and instead named it the Explorer. And there we go. So we've got our right front fender here in pack 108. Oh, we're going to bring it all together by the look of it, so that's cool. And then here we've got the Ford France team. In 1960s, Ford French subsidiary created a competition team that used different models of the brand. The Ford GTs form part of this initiative. There we go. Looking lovely. The Ford Comete, designed by Pininfarina, was the Ford French subsidiary's last self-developed product before becoming a trading company. It's quite a pretty car there, isn't it? Bad Luck at Le Mans. And there's a GT40 and another one there. Beautiful. Love them. Absolutely love them. I did see something there. The Rally Mustangs. I think we saw that before, didn't we? With the Mustangs being rallied. So, here we have pack 108. So we've got another box. Another big heavy box full of metal. So yeah, when the guy delivered this yesterday, I was like, maybe that's heavy. Normally they're not heavy at all. But I answered the door with Dottie in my arms, as I was doing. He handed me this box. I had one hand. I was like, whoa, bloody hell. So what we've got in here, we've got the fender, beautifully packaged, as I say. DeAgostini's packaging of that is just brilliant. Right, so we've got the fender there, and then we've got another side badge. We've got a Shelby sticker, and we've got some screws. So what are we doing here? So we've got DS10 screws. So we'll cut those open. We've got those there. So they are going to be, they are 2.3, and then we've got some PS screws here. That's going to be for our side badge. We'll have one spare. We'll have that one for the badge. We've got DS10 screws there. So get that plastic out of the way, and then we've got our badge and our sticker to go on the fender. So just like we did just now, we will take the badge, plonk it on the fender, preload the screwdriver and we will get the light on because we finished with the magazine, and we will put that screw into there just like that and pull that down. There we go. Okay, so there's our fender looking all lovely, very, very nice indeed. And then we'll get the sticker, and just like we did last time, we'll put the sticker onto our knife and then position it. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Position the sticker where we want it. And then once again with the cotton bud, give it a good old rub down, kind of burnish it in. Okay, so now we've done that. So we'll come over the page. We fitted the sticker. So now we've got to fit the fenders to the front firewall. So this is going to involve some screwing. So we've got some holes in here, and these are 2.3 screws. So once again, I'm going to cut these threads with an M2.3 tap just to get things going. So come in here, actually I'm feeling that it feels like they probably don't need threads cutting. It cut very, very easily, which means the holes are probably quite large, which sometimes means if you tap the threads into them, they will strip easily. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the fender on the other side, no, it is this one we're using, and we're going to fit this on. Now these hood latches face forwards, yeah? Yes. So you can see the way this goes because you've got these circles here raised up, so they're going to fit around those lugs. So we're going to position that there. Okay, there's a tab here, you can see there's a tab there, and that firewall is going to go over that tab. Okay, so once again I haven't preloaded the screwdriver because I'm a numpty. So I'm going to get that into there. Now I need to get it lined up properly with the hole. I haven't preloaded the screwdriver. Luckily that stays there on its own. Yeah, these screws go in really easy, guys, so don't tap those threads. If you do, you run the risk of stripping the threads very easily because the thread won't have its full depth. But at least these screws are nice and long, which is good. Okay, so we'll do those up good and tight, and then we're going to fit the other fender onto there just like so. Make sure those pins line up with the lugs on the back. For some reason I can't get that to go together. There we go, it's gone in now. Okay, just stand it on the bench like that, standing on its end. And then we're going to put those screws into there. One in like the bottom there. And then another one in the top, just like so. There we are, that's that done. So that's our front end together. You can see, you can get an idea now how huge this thing is. Look at the size of my hands on there. Absolutely beautiful. So we've now got some big pieces to store. So we've got the hood and we've got those bits there. So that's that. Thank you for watching. I will see you all next month for the next instalment. That'll be pack 108, no 109 onwards. So I think this has been part 64 or 65, is it? And I'll see you all, as I say, I'll see you all next month for the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.